What's up, everybody? My name's Evan. I'm a photographer based just north of Los Angeles, and today I'm going to be talking about my most recent music video on production day. The last video I did actually went over the pre-production process, so I'm not going to really touch too much on that, but I do want to stress the fact that in order to have a successful production day, preparation and pre-production are incredibly important. You're gonna get a much better result if you go out there pre-planning as opposed to just winging it with a general idea. I'm just gonna tell you guys that straight up. I know that from experience. In regards to the shoot itself, first I want to talk about the artist of the music video, Calderon, and how we ended up crossing paths. So he actually messaged me through Instagram and reached out, and we talked on the phone a couple times. I was like, man, this is a really cool, down-to-earth guy, you know. We connected over a couple things, and we were both really excited to do the video. He came to me with sort of a rough idea, and we kind of worked together and made the big picture. After a while, I asked him, hey, how did you stumble across me anyway? I appreciate you reaching out to me, but you know, what got you to do it? And he's like, you know, interestingly enough, I saw some work you did for somebody else, and they just so happened to have grew up in my hometown. And you know, they both ended up moving to LA, and that person happened to be a really good friend of mine. And so it's just crazy how things work, and you know, it's such a small world. Super grateful for that. Anyway, let's get into the actual video. The first shoot day was the lighting reveal on the stage. And so, you know, we had all prepared going into it. We knew exactly what we were gonna do. We had Mike, the assistant director, shout out Life Licks You in the Face on Instagram. He was a great help. He did a lot of the pre-production process with me. Can't thank him enough for driving back and forth to LA, stuck in traffic for 2 hours to pick up rentals and stuff like that. And no one else but Rico, that's Rick. He was doing behind the scenes.
Don't worry, I'll know all the words by tomorrow.
He helped out in a lot of other ways too, with setting up the lighting equipment and pretty much whatever anybody needed, he was there. And then we had the lighting technician. I was just grateful to have a good team there. And he's a lighting tech. He actually has his own business going on. Shout out Psionic Lighting. He absolutely killed it. So we got in there. We all knew what we were gonna do. This was my first time meeting Al. It was everyone's first time meeting Al. You know, sometimes you go into it with like this sort of anxiety of like, oh man, how am I like gonna connect with the artist? Are we gonna be cool? But we just connected right away when we talked on the phone. It was pretty much comfortable just going into it. It was like we had known each other forever. And it was really cool. You know, he connected with everyone. We were listening to music, vibing out while we were setting up. It's kind of funny because the way that I look at it is like, I know this is a millennial thing, but like growing up, you know, playing Nintendo with your friends, you all got your like Game Boys, and you're all in the same room, you know, playing Pokemon or whatever. Nobody's really talking to each other, but you're all there together. It was kind of like that, you know, because we all knew exactly what we needed to do, and we were hustling. I was rehearsing what he's got to do. We're testing lighting, Rick's standing in, and then it ended up looking beautiful. So day one, complete, perfect. Day two, whole nother story. All right. So day two, we have the pool shoot, and then we have the shower, and then we actually packed the car shoot into it as well. So it was a big day. We had a house that we rented on Pier Space, and we got the pool and the shower all in one house. So we're like, okay, cool. We can do two things at one place. We get there. I knew in advance the pool wasn't heated, and it was wintertime, and I thought, you know, we're tough. We can handle it.
Whose bright idea was to do this?
Oops.
And just for security, I brought a couple of wetsuits for me and Al, and then we get there, and poor Al, man, he's such a trooper, honestly. Like, you know, we shot the stuff leading up to the pool. Al had to like fall into the pool 5 different times.
Let's go.
At one point I was like, okay, stay under there for like 10 seconds. And he's like, okay. And he goes in there, and a couple of seconds go by, and he comes up, and he's like, oh, And I'm like, damn, I just need you a little longer. And you know, he does it again, and sort of the same thing. And I'm not quite realizing like what's going on, you know? And so we end up getting the shot, and I just did a couple more for safety, and then it's time for me to go in and capture him falling in the water and swimming around. And I jump in the water, and instantly it felt like 1,000 knives were just poking at my sides. Right away I'm like, all right, jump in quick. And you know, I go down there, and I'm kicking my feet, and I'm, you know, moving my hand, trying to kind of stay in place, and he's swimming and coming up and, you know, swimming around. It felt like a couple minutes had gone by, and then finally I pop up, and I'm like, all right, we're good, let's get out. And we both get out of the water. We had some towels, and I'm telling you guys, the host for the pier space was an absolute legend. He was giving us towels. He was throwing them in the dryer, heating them up for us, bringing them back out just to keep us warm. And so we get out of the pool, and I'm like, all right, how long was that? And Mike's like, it wasn't even 10 seconds. I'm just like, oh man, I hope we got the shots. And when you have to tell yourself that, it means you didn't get the shots. Then we moved on to the shower, and I'm having Mike and Rick wrap up, and it's just me and Al. We got to get the most important shot, which is him wiping the fog off the mirror. We get the shot, so the stress kind of comes off, because mind you, we've been there for like 5 hours. It's past midnight already. We still got to do the car shoot. We get the shot, then I move over to the next shot. I had a CPL filter, and I didn't put it on. I was in a rush. All of the following shots had a reflection in it. I had no idea until post, because I wasn't thinking about it. I'm like, oh, these shots look great. Fortunately, I did finesse some of the clips, and we made it work, but don't let the stress get to you. I should have had my AD there instead of packing up. You know, you live and you learn. So we get the shots, we're out. We rush to the next location for the car shoot. We have to do some shots. We're in the car, and it looks like rain's falling on the car. And, you know, I'm getting the framing right. Mike's checking the monitor. Al's rehearsing. In the video, it's supposed to be sort of like an emotional, reflective scene, and he was doing great. And Ricky was outside. To make it look like it was raining, I had gotten like a power hose or something. We had no idea how to work it, and again, preparation's key. He finally turns it on, and the water starts shooting out immediately. Rehearsal's done. We got the frame. Al's doing great. Rick starts getting the rain ready. I look out of the corner of my eye. I have the frame ready, and I just see him walking around the car, you know, in like a semicircle, and it looks like he's watering the car. And I start laughing. And then after that, you know, we just had a couple more shots. It was Al driving, so, you know, I had the camera out the window. He was driving. Pretty straightforward. We got that, wrapped it up, and called it a night. And then we get to post-production. I see my reflection in every shower shot, and then I look at the pool shots. Oh no. So I talked to Al, and I'm like, listen man, I think we might have to redo the pool shots for sure. He's like, all right, let's do it. Find another pier space location. I make sure this one is a heated pool. I confirm with the lady 3 times. I'm like, we want to make sure it's heated. So shoot day comes. We're doing the reshoot. I get there an hour before everyone else to set up. The lady opens the door. I'm like, hey, how's it going? She's like, great. I'm like, is the pool nice and warm for us? And then she just looks at me like a deer caught in the headlights. Before she even said anything, I knew she did not heat this pool. I talked to her, and I'm like, I told you a couple times, like, to confirm, and you're like, yes, I'll make sure it's nice and warm. We looked over the messages, and she's like, oh my gosh, total misunderstanding. She's like, well, I can turn the heater on now, like, hopefully it'll heat up in time. You know, it usually takes like 1 to 3 days to heat up a pool, especially in winter. I got everything set up. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, man, I just hope this pool heats up before everyone gets there. Right when Al gets there, and it hadn't even gone up a single degree. We talked to the lady. We got a refund, and we're all standing there. Me, Al, Mike, Rick, and we're like, okay, what do we do? Rick had suggested an apartment he used to live at. And I'm like, no, yeah, I wanna play it safe. I know there's security there. They can be really strict. I just don't want to take any risks. And well, look what happened when I took a risk getting a cold pool. And I think back to when Ricky had suggested the apartment. And I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot, guys. We weren't gonna waste the shoot day. We had to do something. Yes, I had my reservations, but we were in a spot where I was like, let's just give it a shot. You know, it's the worst that could happen. I'm starting to unload the equipment and I'm having the guys check the pool to see if anyone's there. So they come back. Ricky's like, one of our friends is actually here. We're totally good. No security, no nothing. The pool's heated. The pool's deep enough. We have plenty of space. So we get in and we do the reshoot. Everything comes out perfect. Exactly what we wanted.
I want you to look at me like I'm the centerpiece, not your accessory.
And then we pack up and we're all talking after and we're just kind of reflecting on the experience. It's interesting because if we're thinking about it pragmatically, the phrase everything happens for a reason is true, right? Like a cause and effect sort of thing. And we could look at that like the reason why the shots didn't work out the first time is because I didn't do the pre-planning properly. So it's a learning experience. But then there's the other side of it. Everything happens for a reason. When I start to think about the obstacles that we had, things didn't work out at the house that we were supposed to go to and we were paying extra money for. It led us on this path to a better location, a heated pool, no people there, plenty of space. And we left the pool pretty happy that night, you know? Another thing I do want to stress is that things happen during the pre-production process, they happen on set, and you may come into problems in post-production, and that is a thing that you have to deal with. There's a lot of problem solving that comes in filmmaking. While I do love problem solving, I also love making progress and getting better at my craft. I think it's good to take every shoot, win or loss, as a learning experience. It's like the Bob Ross quote, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. And I think that's the way people make progress. More than anything, really what I wanted to do with this video is just normalize the fact that things don't always go the way that you plan. And it's your job to figure out how to make it happen, how to solve the problem. People who are starting out in the video space, don't beat yourself up. Keep trying, look at your mistakes, and on the next shoot, don't make the same mistakes. But yeah, I went and edited the video and it's out now, center of attention. Put the link up here for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you and I'll see you next time.